what they think they're doing is putting on the best wrestling, but in fact, what they're doing is not good for TV. Sure, these blowout pay-per-views that were going on, All Out, All In, Double or Nothing, huge blowout, all these matches, 25, 30 minutes. Even that's a little bit much for me, but my point still stands of like, I don't want to see Private Party and the Young Bucks go 25 minutes. Or I don't want to see them go 15 minutes, honestly. If I'm being honest with you, Private Party should have lost that match. Because if you want to go by, they're treating this as a real sport, the Private Party is definitely the odds are not in their favor, and the Bucks should have dismantled them.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it's pro wrestling; anything can happen. That's fine. But if it's going to be like that, it can't be at a 20-minute mark. Have Private Party go over in 5 minutes and be a complete fluke.
Right.
100%. Nick slips off the ropes and like hits his head or something, and he gets caught into a pin, and then it's just 1, 2, 3. Have it be a mistake. Have it be he gets caught in the wrong way. They get caught in the he can't get his shoulder up. Something like that. I think they need to make smarter decisions about their booking, about their matches, and they need to start investing in characters, because right now they have the Best Friends, and they have Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus.
In terms of tag team characters, you mean?
No, just in characters. I mean, what's Cody's character?
He's the VP.
Okay, what are the Bucks characters?
They're the VP.
Okay, what's Kenny Omega's character?
He's the VP.
Okay.
Like Moxley has a character.
You see what I'm... Yes,
Jericho has a character.
I mean, where would you put Shawn Spears?
I don't care about jobbers.
The poorest of poorest man's. I can't even call him the poorest of poorest man's Laparca. He's nowhere near what the chairman should be.
He's a poor man's Ty Dillinger. Stop kidding yourself.
God, dude. Like,
they did him no justice.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. When Cody said during the press when they signed him to the company that he was a great hand, it's 100% true. I still think he can go out there and have a good match with somebody. I'm not saying that he needs to be the face of the company. I'm saying that he can be a staple of the company in a sense of like a Bob Holly.
Yeah, I agree completely. Maybe he gets that main event match for the title, but that's his crescendo. Not winning it, but getting there.
Right. And if they're going to roll with this chairman thing, they really have to put 100% into it. It can't just be him starting out the match on starting out him coming out to the ring sitting on a chair, and then he folds the chair up and you never see the chair for the rest of the match. If you're going to have Tully Blanchard in his corner, fucking have him use the chair. We all know that referees' sight, their vision and their hearing is in a cone directly in front of them.
Yes.
So Tully comes up, distracts the ref, crack him with the chair. 1, 2, 3. Don't hit your finish. Don't hit it. The chair is your finish. And make him the chairman. He comes out, he'll break up match. Like, you could really build him up to be a perfect heel for a face champion. Hell, once you get to the point where you can make Adam Page the champ, he would be a great foil for Adam Page. Have him, the reason he gets the title shot is because he takes out the rest of the field. He injures everybody. Chair shot. Starts, doing the chair around the head thing, running him into the ring post, doing chairs around the ankles and taking out people's ankles. You can use what they've already set up to make him into something good. They just I don't think they have the foresight to do it.
I think part of the problem, and bringing up Page is a perfect example. I don't think Adam Page is going to be a main eventer, at least a legitimate one. Not anymore. Partly because I look at how AEW is booking these things, and they're booking it from this perspective of arrogance. They said Vince McMahon didn't know what he was doing, and let's be honest, the historical narrative of anyone who doesn't suck the WWE dick is that Vince McMahon is the worst promoter of all time, who simply just used his father's money and business to catapult himself into a league of his own because he killed the industry and has tried to kill it ever since. He hates pro wrestling, and if you don't know that, welcome to the conversation. But Cody and crew now think that they're of this mindset where they know best, they know better, they know their audience. Oh yeah. But here's the problem. They don't. Right now, they're different, and that's working. But are they necessarily good? I don't think so. Part of the problem is they're not booking for anything. Every event they had leading into their premiere episode of Dynamite, going all the way back to All In, was fucking nonsense. There was no rhyme or reason for why matches happen from month to month or whatever, from event to event. And now that you're on Dynamite, you have like 5 or 6 matches a week, which I know at a time was like, oh yeah, that's great. 6 matches, they all get like 12 minutes. That's awesome. But there's so much talent on your show that you need to do more than just have long matches, because you're only using like a third of your showcase every week. Now, in one hand, that's good because it limits the overexposure, but on the other hand, it's not, because you're just throwing these talents on Dark instead. So what's the point? But the other issue is you look at how they book their talent, and it's inconsistent. If you're starting a promotion, and MMA is the perfect one-to-one comparison because it's the closest thing you'll ever get for a legitimate pro wrestling company. If you look at MMA, you don't dive right into doing McGregor Khabib 2. At least if you're smart, you don't. You give Khabib Dustin Poirier. You build up the return of McGregor. Like maybe he's ready to return in July, but you hold off until December because you can milk it more. You know, if you get somebody like Nick Newell, the one-armed MMA fighter that just signed with Bellator, you're not putting him in there. I think he's a welterweight. We'll pretend he's a welterweight. You're not putting him in there against, a Gracie right off the bat or Rory McDonald. You're going to find him a few names, like what they're doing with Jake Hager. The first 3 dudes he's fought sound like 6 dudes at a bar, because they all have first names. First name, last name, first name, last name. It's all first names. And Hager's beating these scrubs that look like nobodies for a reason. Like CM Punk faced, I don't even remember what his name was.
Mickey Gall.
Mickey Gall, because Mickey Gall was a nobody. They thought that CM Punk could beat him. They tried to build stars and build them up. You have Kenny goddamn Omega, who right there with Cody is one of the 2 greatest single stars of the last 20 years. And you have him losing singles matches, cosplaying a villain in Street Fighter, and tagging up with people that we've seen 1,000 times before. How is that helping Kenny Omega with this new audience? It doesn't make any goddamn sense. And I think that's part of the problem, is that they're kind of just booking whatever they want to do. Oh yeah, we'll do this because this is going to be fun. How does this help Kenny Omega down the road? How does Kenny Omega losing to all these scrubs help him get over? Because let's be honest, Kenny Omega should be the first AEW champion. He's the biggest draw. He's the most versatile talent. He might be bisexual, which is fueling AEW's fire because they're doing a lot of the diversity pushing. He clicks all the boxes, so why wouldn't you? Then you look at just some of the ideas that they're going with, and it's on the outline of this idea of woke culture. Got to be woke. Got to be, the one thing that I kind of just rolled my eyes at was Cody's like, when I met Brandy, I told her I didn't see color, and she's like, well then Cody, you don't see my story. And I was like, everyone's got a story. You're not fucking original, Brandy. And part of the problem is a lot of media is going in this direction, like this woke direction. And it's not working. Batwoman debuted to 1 million viewers. And everyone's like, it's a huge accomplishment. Arrow debuted to 3.5.
Yeah.
And don't sit here and tell me, well, no one's watching TV anymore, because they're still watching live TV. They're still watching first-run programming. They're just not watching shit they don't want to watch. When you start marketing and producing products for the minority, you may seem like you're being inclusive, but what you're actually doing is targeting your demographic. Instead of promoting and booking for all, you're booking and promoting for a few, and you're calling it inclusion. And that's part of the problem that people had with Nyla Rose. She had no business being in the finals in terms of a talent, name value, or any real legitimate kind of booking decision. She wasn't the best worker. She wasn't the biggest name. You know, what she was different. She's a person of color who happens to be transgender, so we can look progressive by putting her in that match. We can sign Sunny Kiss because we'll seem progressive. Okay, cool, but how are you using them to get your product over? How are you going to use your talent with them to help them get them over? Because now what you're saddling yourself with is this idea that, let's say Kenny Omega faces Sunny Kiss, or Cody faces Sunny Kiss. How long until the base that's there to see Sunny Kiss starts accusing you of being homophobic and racist for not pushing Sunny Kiss?
Right.
And let's be honest, Sunny Kiss has done nothing for anyone in terms of in-ring work or promo skills. So it's not exactly like Sunny Kiss is the second coming of The Rock. So you're not going to really look to push him. Why would you? He's 125 pounds. But this idea of tackling the idea of masculinity is more important to them than putting on a steady, consistent booking that leads in from one week to another. And I think that's kind of part of the issue that I have with AEW is they're worrying more about optics instead of operation. The Young Bucks should not be losing before the finals. Kenny Omega should not be 0-whatever before, you know, he finally gets his first win against Jon Moxley probably. You shouldn't be going right into Jon Moxley, Kenny Omega to begin with. Cody and Jericho randomly for the belt when you're acknowledging Cody's the VP. And why is he even the VP? Why are these wrestlers running things? Are you stupid? I have a lot of concerns. And the only way I see AEW surviving their first year is if Tony Khan strips them of their VPs and hires people who have no vested interest in themselves in booking. Because we saw what happens with Triple H. And we'll go with the most infamous of quotes. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. If you think Cody, the Bucks, and Kenny are going to be, you know, altruistic with their booking, think twice.
Yeah, I mean, I'm completely on board with you. I 100% agree. I think that the biggest problem in AEW right now is their infrastructure is built around guys who are going to let their egos get in the way, and their personal ideas of what wrestling should be get in the ways of what fans want to see.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's Hogan, Hall, and Nash all over. You know, sitting in the back seat, being allowed to book the show, and also being able to wrestle on it. And if you're booking the show, why wouldn't you want to be in the main event?
Yeah.
You know, and you can say what you want. Oh, the Bucks put themselves on first. It's like it doesn't matter. They still gave themselves the longest match of the night.
Yeah, they and I saw this on Twitter, and it made me scream in anger because it's the most honest thing I've seen about wrestling. The guy was basically saying, you know, if you're going on third, don't do 20 minutes where you kick out everyone's finisher 12 times. Because you kill the night, and you do. And the Bucks and Private Party killed the night. And that's the thing that pisses me off is these wrestlers think they're so much smarter than reality. The reason why like those old Impact shows were so cool back in the day is because there was a build. You didn't need to worry about doing 20 minutes in the opener because you knew the opener was going to be fucking Amazing Red versus Lex Lovett. You know, then next up you had Buck Quartermain versus AJ Styles. Well, we know who's not winning those first two matches, and it's not the guys that start with the names A and A. It'll be Lex and Buck. You know, then you get like the Diamonds in the Rough would take on, you know, AMW. Okay, you know AMW is going to go over. But then in the main event, you get Christopher Daniels versus Monty Brown. You're like, oh, well, damn, let's find out what happens. And in between, you get some cool promos, you get some cool little skits, a little cool, and it just was cohesive. Like, and if you look at like a UFC card or a Bellator card, or even and maybe not one because they just did their Century events, you will see like as the cards build up, you'll see there's a clear guy they want to win this fight, and a clear guy they don't give a fuck about heading into maybe the final 3 or 4 bouts. You know, like Aaron Pico was given a bunch of nobodies. And one of the guys that he was given actually knocked him out, and then basically took his spot as the next, you know, great. I think he's a featherweight. So like you have to be prepared to book long term, and they don't know what the fuck they're doing. They're booking week to week, and it's pretty fucking clear. And their names of their shows are just atrocious. Full Gear? Which one of you coke-snorting douchebags came up with that nonsense?
I'm telling you right now, it's probably a combined effort from the Bucks, Kenny, Cody, and Hangman Page, because that was one of the running gags on the Being the Elite show, where Hangman Page was showing up to like fucking TGI Fridays and Cracker Barrel in his full gear. He was wearing his trunks, and they said that he wasn't full gear ready. And that's I'm not even fucking kidding you. I can guarantee you that is where this fucking name for this pay-per-view came from.
It's time to kill Being the Elite, the YouTube channel, by the way. Kill it. You should have an AEW specific YouTube channel, and everything you do should be on that YouTube channel.
Yeah, no, 100%. Here's the thing, I'm very much in the mindset, and I think you've agreed with me on this mindset where wrestling should be a buffet. It should be options. You shouldn't get the same thing over and over and over again. Mm-hmm. We're 2 weeks into this product yet, and we've gotten one promo and one backstage segment that didn't even have any talking. It was just a backstage shot of Jericho talking to the Inner Circle.
Yeah, and it was Jericho and LAX, and Jim Ross said something like, "We're not going to linger too long because we don't want to give away trade secrets for what they plan on doing for tonight's main event." All right, cool, whatever.
But I can't take 2 hours of straight wrestling because that's not a TV wrestling show to me. That I need what NWA was doing with Power, and I did see
what show? What show?
NWA.
What show?
I'm sorry. Power.
I'm sorry. You said Power, and I got confused. That's clearly